Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Father's Day from MJ and MJ Trades, Bulls and Bears University. I wanted to do a follow-up real quick on the Draft Kings trade. I want to talk about how I scaled into my entry and how I plan on scaling out. Um, I recognized on June 2nd when we peaked at the 42, the 45 high, and retraced back to the mean or the average, I noticed a good opportunity there, and I had an assumption that DraftKings would probably bounce off the average. So when it started hitting the average, I was accumulating my DraftKings position the 11th through the 15th. So we saw a bounce. Now we see resistance becomes support. Now we consolidate between 40 and 42, and we're looking for a break higher. So my consolidation was done in those 4 days, and I would use the RSI tool and the MACD convergence to recognize when it was time for me to buy. When did it hit 20? Every time that RSI line hit 20, that's when I bought for my scale and purchase. So I can make sure that I can get close to as low a price as I possibly can. So between 35 and 40, I was buying every time the RSI hit the 20 on a 30-minute chart one day. So that's how I make my purchases. I don't guess. I let the chart tell me where it's going, and then I let the chart tell me where to buy, and then I let the chart tell me where to sell. So on the 30-minute one-day chart, I'm going to move up to the MACD, and I'm going to look every time that it hit -1, look how it correlates with 20 on the RSI. So now we can use the MACD convergence divergence midpoint line, the white line, as our tell. So we're making our purchases as close as we can to RSI 20. We want to be at the bottom of the curl on the MACD. Now between the 11th and the 15th, I can look at the next action and I can get an idea of where it's going to go next. We'll look for a retest of those 45 highs, I believe, when we see the MACD at 0.5, and I think we're going to be at 50 when we see the MACD hit 1.0. So you'll see resistance at 0.5 on the MACD, then you'll see resistance again, and looks like sharp resistance at 1.0. So I think we pull back and consolidate and then move higher after that too, but I think we're going to have a run to 50, possibly 52. But I'm going to be scaling out between 0.5 and 1.0. I'm going to start scaling out probably in three different sell scenarios. So probably sell once we get through 45 around 48, 49, and 50. So every time we hit 48, 49, 50, I'm probably going to scale out a little bit, because remember guys, hit that register. Hit that register. Because when it says unrealized, guess what? It's unrealized. If you want to bring the cheddar home, you got to hit that register and take that cash to the bank. You can't let it just sit out there for the market to take it back. That's why it's important to scale out, so you don't leave your profits on the table too. Scale out in thirds. Boom, 1/3, I get 75% of my initial investment back. The next third, cool, I got 25% of my profit. The last third, all right, cool, now I got 75% of my profit. Scale out, get your money back, let your profits ride. All right. So scale in and scale out, guys. That's kind of how I scale in and scale out, and that's kind of how I'm gonna play the rest of DraftKings. I'm gonna use my technical indicators. I'm going to look at my 30-minute chart, my 10-minute chart, my 5-minute chart, my 1-minute chart, and I'm going to look at the daily, and then I'm going to look at the weekly. So that's kind of how I'm playing DraftKings right now. Look forward to hearing from you guys soon.